All right, I would like to call the TCFC meeting to order at 10:54 a.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. President Brown,
Present.
Vice President Lawrence,
Present.
Director Getchell,
Present.
Director Roberts,
Present.
and Director Paver.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there anyone desiring to speak to the board on behalf of the TCFC board?
No one signed up.
Okay, great. Moving on to item 3 on the agenda. Can I have approval of the minutes for the October 2nd, 2025 regular meeting?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting minutes are approved by unanimous decision. Item number 4 on the agenda, discussion items. Discussion item A, preserve at Mason Creek presentation.
Yeah, A and B are actually the same thing. So we are, Brian Crittenden with Cascade Homes is on the line. As you all know, you guys approved the preserve at Mason Creek, which is in the city of Leander, actually. Our first, hopefully not our last. That has gone to their city council for approval, and it's received approval. And we will actually be discussing, this is actually the basis for why we want to have a special meeting. They would like to close, and because of the notification timeline, 30 days would be after today, and so we need to have a special meeting to accommodate them, and we really want to accommodate them, and we thank you all for being willing. So what we decided to do in the interest of time is to provide an overview today, so that the next meeting will be very short.
Okay.
So Brian is with us, and we have a presentation that should be queued up, and we'll go from there.
And then Patrick, do you want me to just let you know when I'd like to click to the next slide?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
And Summer's on the line, as you all know.
Well, thank you, Patrick, and thank you, board, for having me. Good morning, and excited to walk you through Preserve at Mason Creek. Patrick, if you don't mind clicking to the next slide. So I lead Cascade Homes. We're the developer and owner of Preserve at Mason Creek. We're a full-service development company. We identify sites, we plan them, get them entitled, capitalize the developments, oversee construction, serving as a general contractor. In the case of build-to-rent developments, we work with third-party property management to oversee operations as well. And then you can go to the next slide, Patrick, please. So we thought it'd be helpful to give you a little bit of just perspective on the demographics in Leander. It's a high quality community known for having a great school district, high quality of life. It's attractive to families. 91% of the households in Leander live in a family. That's 13 percentage points higher than Austin MSA. At the same time, it's harder for moderate and lower income families to make their way into Leander, largely because of the housing market, which we'll talk about. So 25% of households earn 60% of AMI or less, which is 14 percentage points lower than the city of Austin. And for families earning 80% of AMI, that's 33% of the demographic there, and that's 18% lower than the city of Austin. Then you can go to the next slide. A large part of that is the single family home market in Leander is very attractive to families. We don't have to go through all of the stuff here, but many of this we know sort of intuitively. Most people prefer to live in a single family home. Part of that is space and privacy, not having shared walls, having your own private domain. There's the sense of community that comes with it, getting to know your neighbors that you don't necessarily maybe do the same way in an apartment complex. They have found that in single family for rent communities, residents stay 2 to 5 years, which is 1 to 2 to 3 times longer than in an apartment community. And then lastly, yard and outdoor space for those of us that have kids, being able to let them outdoors or pets or things like that. It's such a great advantage to being in a single family home versus an apartment. If you can go to the next slide. We thought this would be helpful to sort of frame why we thought this would be a great opportunity for you all and for us. In Leander, buying a single family home is very challenging right now. The average sale prices for homes sold in the second half of last year when we initially did this study was $592,000. If you were to think about the target price for someone making 80% of AMI, that's $325,000. And for someone making 60% of AMI, that's $250,000. In Leander, 700 homes sold across the second half of 2024, only 30 at that $325,000 price, which is for the target 80% of AMI, and 0 sold for $250,000 or less. So it's a very hard market to break into if you're moderate or low income. And if you go to the next slide. So rental is the option that you have. 665 homes were rented. Single family homes were rented during that time period in Leander. The average rent for our residents earning at Preserve at Mason Creek, earning 60% of AMI or less, will be $1,950. Only 16% of the homes rented in the second half of 2024 rented for $1,950 or less. As a reminder, 25% of the households in Leander earn 60% of AMI or less, so there is an imbalance there. The average age of those homes that were rented were 15 years old, which isn't old, but not a newer stock. And there's 0 income restricted single family rental communities in Leander. And you can go to the next slide. And I'll just breeze through this, but we just sort of thought it would be helpful to look at the affordable housing stock. There's no single family home communities that are affordable in Leander. There are some apartment complexes, 13 in total, within 10 miles of downtown Leander, and about half of those have 3 and 4 bedroom homes. So we think that there's a real gap for larger 3 and 4 bedroom single family homes at an affordable price level in Leander. And you can go to the next slide. And this brings us to our project, Preserve at Mason Creek. It'll sit on a little less than 8 acres. It's in walking distance to Christine Camacho Elementary School, Leander Middle School, very close to downtown Leander, close to some of the exciting development at Lorthline, where you have the Leander metro station. There's Sprouts going in there, big mixed use community, HEB right at the intersection. So you have lots of amenities, a very good location for sort of this single family demographic. And then if you go to the next slide, just sort of overview of our qualities and characteristics of our project. These are all detached single family homes. They're all 3 and 4 bedroom floor plans. We have four plans in total, 2 3 bedroom and 2 4 bedroom, all super high quality finishes. I'll touch on a little bit of that on the next slide. We did something that we think is pretty valuable. Our market rate units will have the exact same finishes as our income restricted units. I think that's just only fair for those residents. They shouldn't have a diminished experience or quality of units. So it's the same across the entire community. We will be using professional third-party management, and with that will come a maintenance-free lifestyle. You will have lawn care, watering of your lawn, pest control, on-site maintenance, all built into your lease, which I think is going to be a great thing for our residents who often, particularly at those lower incomes, are very busy, working a lot, and can really benefit from having some of those services taken care of for them, similar to how it would be in an apartment complex. And then on the next slide, just really quickly, just a few of the amenities. All of our homes have full-length driveways, so that abut 2-car garages, so you can put 2 cars in your garage, you can put 2 cars in the driveway, so excellent parking. Everybody has a private, large fenced-in backyard. We have quartz countertops throughout, undermount sinks, ceiling fans in all the rooms, large 9-foot ceilings on the ground level. Lots of really great features, smart home packages. These are really great, high quality homes. And then within the community, there'll be walkable sidewalks throughout. We have a small little pocket park. Then we talked about some of the professional management and maintenance-free lifestyle. And so then the last slide, if you would, Patrick, please. So just in summary, we own the site. Me and my partners own the site. We have fully approved development plans. We're ready to start construction. I talked about some of the qualities and what got us here. But the last thing, as Patrick mentioned, the city of Leander has approved this. They have signed cooperation and resolution with the city of Leander. And as part of that, we get the full property tax abatement, but in year 11, we have a pilot, which is equal to what the taxes would have been that kicks in year 11. So we're ready to go, excited about the community, happy to answer any questions that you have. And we think that this will be a great addition to your portfolio and a great asset for the lower income, moderate income community in Leander.
Thanks, Brian. Summer may want to chime in, but as you know, you all approved this project already, and we're now at the final stages because they're about to close on all their financing. So this is the last step in that process.
Yeah, and I'll just jump in there, Patrick, just to say that this deal contains all of the normal terms that we have on all of our deals, with the exception of one. As Brian mentioned, there is a pilot that kicks in that has to be paid to the city of Leander at year 11. And at that point, the annual rent that is paid to Travis County Facility Corp will be reduced by the amount of that pilot. So that's just one thing to be aware of. That was their request in order for you to get the cooperation agreement to do the deal in the city of Leander, because you typically wouldn't have the authority to do a project there. So that was their request. So that's the one thing I think to be aware of. But I don't think that that's an unfair ask from the community, given that you would not have otherwise had the ability to participate in this project otherwise.
Any other questions?
Okay. Moving on to item C, UT.
So again, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
This is for the special meeting, which I think we've got a quorum confirmed on the 11th, correct?
I believe
Yes, 11th, 9 is what I have on my calendar.
on the 11th of December, yes.
9:30, 9:30. Yeah.
Okay.
Then yes, we have a
Yeah.
I expect to be there.
Okay.
Not 100%.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Then moving on to item C, UT Law School Tech Report.
Yeah, so as you know, we've gotten, actually just yesterday, I think we got an update. There was a few changes made to the report. The UT Law School, under the guise of Professor Heatherway, did a report on TEPP, which is tax-exempt private properties, obviously those receiving a tax exemption. So all of the entities, and it was just done for this area. So they looked at some trends and the like, and I think you all got that report. So, well, they presented it, actually, the preliminary draft earlier in the year. So as I had mentioned earlier, there's been some, we've been meeting as a round table, all the entities that do this type of development. All the public entities, I should say, and Strategic Housing Finance Corporation sort of took the lead and decided to do a resolution to support the efforts of what's contained within the report. None of the other entities have yet to do such, but Strategic has sort of put out something in the form of a resolution, and I shared that with the chair. She suggested I bring that to the board today. If you all are inclined to consider doing something, then Summer and I, maybe and others, might consider what that might look like, or recommend some variation of what likely would be some resolution that at least just demonstrates our willingness to support some of the items contained within the report. So this may be a two-step process. I mean, we may come back to you with our initial thoughts, and then it could form the basis of a resolution. But that's what we're here today to sort of talk about. Is if you all feel inclined to do so, we can move in that direction. Again, none of the other entities have done it. Strategic tends take the lead in such matters, but you know, it's something, you know, that we can consider.
Who are the other entities that have been?
Yeah, so it's HACA, the City of Austin, Travis County Housing Finance Corporation, and ourselves.
Okay.
So Patrick, this is tenant protections Bill of Rights. So is this in response to the apartments? The apartments from 2 or 3 years ago? Is this?
No, this is strictly the report from Heatherway. I mean, and I will go back and
This was adopted last year, December 12th.
Well, they're making, okay, so, sorry. If you're talking specifically about the resolution, there is that in there, and they're making reference to a lot of things. This is a long resolution, by the way. So they go back historically and talk about a bunch of things. So, Kevin, if you go to the next slide. So now they're talking about some other things that are more current as it relates to that. So yes, they're addressing a number of things. I think the point to be made is that there are items contained within the report that make reference to tenant protections. They were just put it in the context of their specific situation. If we were inclined to maybe do something relative to talking about tenant protections as a broader topic, and I'm gonna let Summer weigh in on a little bit of this, but if we are inclined to do that, we certainly can look at our own situation and figure out if it makes sense to do such. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of this is more of a political move in some respect, you know what I mean? I don't know that I think that inherently there's things that we are doing and looking at when we look at our deals, but you know, there are things that have come up like the elimination of junk fees and things like that that causes tenants who otherwise may be able to afford a property to not, or hidden fees, things like that. So it really just, if it's more of a guiding principle, it could be that, or it could be a number of different things. But if you all were interested, Summer, did you want to share anything about that at all? That idea, concept?
What would the benefit?
Yeah, I'm happy to weigh in a little bit here just to give you guys some perspective across the state with the other entities that I work with. We have several entities who've adopted various forms of tenant protection policies, really as I think a show of good faith to make sure that their partners are, meeting a minimum standard of treatment of their tenants. A lot of tenant protections were built into the statute with the change in 2023 to Chapter 303 of the Texas Local Government Code. So there are a lot of guardrails that are already on the program, but this, like Patrick said, kind of going above and beyond, I think is something that is worthwhile of looking into what are certain protections that aren't going to be so onerous that that it would cause some type of detriment to the properties, but by the same token are helpful for making sure that, like Patrick said, junk fees, I think, is a big one that's been kind of identified, not necessarily on your properties, but it has been identified as being, a way that developers or operators of apartments have gotten around some of the income restrictions. So really just trying to kind of follow best practices, which is what we typically try to do with you guys. So, but this is not something that would, be totally out of the ordinary. Again, San Antonio Housing Trust has a tenant protection policy they've had in place for a couple of years now. Harris County, their Housing Finance Corporation, similarly has a tenant protection policy as well. I think we just need to be careful to make sure that that it follows best practices, but that also it doesn't have some type of unintended consequence on the property. So we'll be working all together to make sure that doesn't happen.
And I agree, Summer. I really do. It seems to me that there's been like some concerns raised by members in the community, and that a resolution would simply be, our commitment to analyze the concerns internally and just to enumerate our commitment to tenant protection it does seem a little amorphous, but I also think that it's an appropriate response.
Okay, so can we take a vote? Is
Well-
first, I don't.
Well, this is just a discussion. If the direction from staff is to come back to bring you some thoughts about how we would approach it, but we wanted to at least get it out there before we got so far down the road. But I just,
Let me ask
Sure.
a question then. How does this differ from what we're currently doing now? What of our policies relates to that?
it doesn't conflict. I think this is just making more of a statement about what your commitment is, if that's worth something. But I think it would evolve into a policy that this reinforces what our commitment is. And maybe it even goes further, as in some of what I talked about in terms of what we might proactively do more of in the future, right? To ensure that folks understand that we are committed to doing such, and then that would just be something that we can point to as relates to things that come up, right? So I think it could take on the form of a number of different things, starting with a resolution, evolving into a policy of some sort, a template or a platform, which may lead to us doing more periodic inspections of sorts, or ensuring that we have resources, we make those available, or information, whatever that might be. But there's a number of things that proactively can be done. So we believe that we do a fairly good job. I mean, but certainly this doesn't conflict with that. It doesn't go as far as the UT Law School would like to go, as far as some of the things that they're requesting, but it certainly is moving in that direction.
So what are you suggesting, Madam Chair, Cheryl?
I think what we're suggesting is that to staff direction to come up with,
Okay.
I don't know, some form of a resolution or
Suggestion.
something moving forward that
Yes,
shows
okay.
we're supportive.
That's all we needed. We didn't want to go down that road without making sure that was something you wanted to do.
Okay.
Patrick, have you received copies from Harris County and San Antonio Trust regarding their tenant protection policy?
No, I mean, I can get
You can do
those.
that.
And the group collectively, I should say this too, like, there's not been a consensus about how we as this region will respond per se. So everyone's sort of being a little bit general in terms of what they're going to do. I mean, but obviously we can't, ignore the fact that there's questions about what if you all are even acknowledging what's being said. So that's kind of where we are, the collective body.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Thank you.
All right, good. So I think we covered item D, which is the policy statement of the,
Actually, I one item I want to a little different but similar. So, on 2 occasions, the meeting with the Commissioner's Court, and subsequently with the approving of the porch by Commissioner's Court, Commissioner Howard in particular has asked the board to consider, with their set aside, how we might consider how we might utilize our funds, not only to incentivize the development of affordable housing or deeply affordable housing, but to help with operations. Let me just say this, the 2 projects that we've incentivized for PSH, they're about 2 years out. So there's really no immediate need to actually do anything right now in terms of money, just so you know, right? And I've reached out to the 2 developers that we've worked with, LifeWorks and the Urban League, and they all made it clear to me that the operations funding won't be needed, in an immediate sense. But she has asked us twice, and we have 2 witnesses, but she's asked us twice about if we would consider that because of the challenge and difficulty for operations is relative to PSH. Of course, the landscape is changing every day now, so who knows what might happen. But I felt compelled to bring that to you because it's been asked twice in a public forum that we might consider the likes of such, and I didn't reach out to the...
Is their PFC able to help support those? And not us? I mean, they have money sitting there that they have told us that they need to spend.
Well, they expect a lot from us. So I'm going to say I can't really answer that, but my assumption is they probably could.
Yeah.
And I brought that to the roundtable, and which is the collective body of folks. And there was some concern about setting a precedent, obviously, with providing funds for operations. So I will say that I think some of it may be a little premature per se, but I do believe that there's going to be an effort afoot to try to figure out how organizations can help underwrite those costs.
Well, I would say this. We are in a situation where we're subsidizing our operating costs for our central office, whereas the PFC for the county does not have to do that. They
Right.
can raise taxes and get additional money
Yeah.
where we can't do that. So I would say as long as we can kind of say no
Right.
to this. And
Well, I think we have time, even if they. I just want you all to be aware of the fact that the conversation did come up when we presented, and then it came up again the very next week, again about PSH and funding.
I know we've committed to the county for the home ownership program.
Yes,
and
we
that's
have.
what, $250,000 a year.
140.
Is it 140?
142.
And our commitment is every year for.
Well, I think we said we would revisit it
3
every
years?
year.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yes,
But I
we
just-
would revisit that every year.
Is Commissioner Howard aware of what
Oh yeah,
Commissioner Flores just articulated?
Oh yeah, she's aware.
You are about okay.
Yeah, if yes, she is aware.
Okay.
But she takes opportunities to share
Yeah, it's
things.
nothing wrong with asking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she can ask,
No,
but
And maybe our response to that is to do a sort of needs and resource assessment to
Yes.
just say whether this is something that's needed and viable and
if we are financially positioned to do it.
Yes. So the only direct feedback, I got two different. My response from the Urban League was different from LifeWorks, but suffice to say that the projects are both 2 years out from even breaking, not breaking ground, but occupying tenants. So whatever we would respond to at some point would be that. But as it were, I was just collecting information on, do you really need money for operations? And of course they do and they don't. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things, right? So that it's not clear, but obviously no one would turn down the support, and it's a little ways out. So, I mean, that's only where we are. But I mean, yeah, I was. No commitment has been made at all, and I hadn't suggested to them anything other than the fact that there was this, request put out.
I think she's going to be at the banquet. Maybe we can get Mark to explain.
And she is
that
one of
to
the
us.
sponsors, just for maybe that's
Patrick, remind me again, what is the name of the county's PFC?
Oh, the county doesn't have a PFC.
Then their HFC.
Oh, this is Travis County HFC, Housing Finance
I thought it
Corporation.
had a different name.
No. Well, they have a Department of Corporations, and they have several entities under it. But Travis County HFC is one of them.
And is is it really operations that we're trying to fund, or is it opening up, services to residents or some other sort of, or is it really like operations, like keeping the lights on?
Social worker or something of that magnitude.
So it's both. I mean, to be honest, it's everything that's not bricks and mortar, right? In her mind, that constitutes some sort of gap, right? Because so yes, it's either hiring people to do counseling, or you're talking about rent subsidy, which in the case of LifeWorks, they are getting vouchers for a component of that. So there is something to be, so there is situation. I mean, so somewhere on that side, the soft versus the hard costs. I mean, and our policy says, we're going to fund projects as opposed to doing anything other than that. And we've already given back our developer fee for all intents and purposes back to the projects. So it's not as if we haven't demonstrated our willingness and desire to support. So, but again, it was just a question again. But we got asked twice in 7 days, so in public. So I thought I would just bring it to you all. But just so I will make sure whenever that I get asked again that I'll communicate that we're obviously doing research and we'll respond, whenever accordingly when it's appropriate.
Okay. Any other discussion on item D? All right, moving on to item E, the finance report for a period ending in October 31st, 2025.
Yes, so what's in the board package is the financials for TCFC for as of October 31st. And in October, we collected about $540,000. Primarily the collection was for the sale of Bergstrom. We received $455,000, and then the remaining were just monthly payments from different projects. So that was a good month. So as of October 31st, the cash balance in TCFC is 1.8 million, and the set aside is 5.2 million. And we are trying to still collect from 2 other projects by the end of the year. Hopefully we can get $500,000, but
Any discussion?
President, could we go to Resolution 17? Gentleman's been waiting on the line for a little while now.
Sure.
If you don't mind, if you would be so inclined.
Okay, so we're moving on to action items, resolution number TCFC 2025-17, and this is to approve resolution inducing the Wagner apartment in partnership with Stonehawk Capital Partners or an affiliate, therefore to be located approximately 1.5 miles west of the interstate of D. Gabriel Road and SH 183, and authorizing the negotiation and execution of a term sheet and other matters in connection therewith.
Okay, so Jordan, thank you for your patience, and Jordan Cox is with Stonehawk, and he has provided a presentation. Jordan, we will advance the slides for you. And we'll go from there. So we'll start with that.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Patrick. And as you said, my name is Jordan Cox. I'm with Stonehawk Capital Partners. Patrick, feel free to kind of cycle through these. This is just a high-level pitch book, kind of starting from our first project to where we are today. I sent some other materials as well, but I think, we wanted to give you a quick background as to Stonehawk. I know we have a project that we've been working on now in North Austin off of Greg Lane, but like I said, I would like to give a little bit of refresher and background on Stonehawk and who we are. And then we'll jump into the project specifically. So Stonehawk was founded over 12 years ago with the main goal of ground up development throughout the state of Texas. And since that time, that's what we've done. We've completed or in the progress of over 25 projects in major markets like DFW, San Antonio, and obviously Austin. We have experience with other housing authorities via PFC deals, which the Huntley right there is one of them as well that was just shown. These are all Class A projects located in call it, these metro areas. That's the quick background on Stonehawk. And just shifting gears to this project specifically, one thing to note, I guess one thing before we get to the project, I apologize, is while Stonehawk is the developer of these projects, we also have our own in-house GC that is, I think, very important to note, just the fact that we're able to have that insight, have that ability to kind of see what's going on, boots on the ground during that construction process. So I think that's important to note. But shifting gears quickly to the project itself, this is a 342 unit apartment complex in the southeast Austin corridor, very close to Onion Creek and McKinney Falls area, right off of McKinney Falls Parkway and D. Gabriel. It's a 12-acre site.
Give us 1 second, Jordan. Sorry.
No problem.
We need to get to the slide. Okay, let's pull up the other one.
And I know these are renderings right now. They have it pulled up. I'm not sure if you can see it. Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it.
So give us 1 second.
Yep, no problem.
There's one that says. No, Jordan, keep talking. I'm gonna. Office. If you could go ahead and just continue. Let me try. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. That was a quick background on Stonehawk, and then just kind of jumping into the project high level. As mentioned, it's in the southeast corridor of Austin ETJ, actually, very close to, the Tesla Gigafactory, the airport, and just a few minutes from, downtown as well. So great location, strong demographics in that area that we're excited to hopefully be a part of. As mentioned, it's 342 units, and it's across a 12-acre site that we actually own as a partnership at Stonehawk. And so we're excited to say, hey, we've made a lot of progress here. We own the land. We've actually gone through many rounds with the county, with the city of Austin on our site development permits, and we're very close to being able to pull those and pick those up. So that's a little bit different than our project that we currently have in process with you guys up in North Austin. But this project, like I said, we own the land and we're very close to being able to pull the permits. Our goal would be to replicate that existing agreement and break ground in the middle of 2026. So roughly June is what we're targeting. There's a few hurdles that we have to clear with the city of Austin, but like I said, and the county, but like I said, we've made a lot of progress, and we're very close to being able to pull those permits and then, start construction. I'm not sure. There was a handful of photos that you saw there throughout that deck, and there's a few more photos that were provided, and materials and things like that, calling out what the product is, what the quality is. So our goal is to have quartz countertops throughout the project, undermount sinks, a resort-style pool, dog park, golf simulators. Something that we do at Stonehawk specifically is really try and enhance that resident experience for the folks that are living on site. So we really try and over-amenitize the property, I guess you could say, whether that be with large gyms, spin rooms, yoga rooms, things of that nature. So that's a little bit of the background of the project and kind of what it's looking like, what it's looking like we'll be able to accomplish there. And outside of that, I don't have any other specifics. Like I said, our goal is to break ground within the next 6 months, which we think is very doable. And we're hoping to partner with HATSI on this project, and again replicate the agreement that we have in place on our other one.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cox. Summer, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Sure. I'll just add quickly that our conversations with Jordan have been really fruitful, and we're going to be making this deal on the same terms as the Greg Lane deal that you guys closed. I believe, Jordan, remind me when that deal closed. I believe it was this last year.
Yeah. We haven't actually closed the project just yet. We're still in the works of getting it through the county in Austin. That process has just proven to be very strenuous. But we're hoping to close that sooner than later as well.
We do.
Ideally,
we do have final terms. Have final terms on that project. We have the terms.
That's correct. We do have final terms. We executed that, I think, a year and a half ago, somewhere in that range.
It was in May of 2024. So we'll expect the term sheet to be on the same terms, with the one exception that we will be updating after today. Obviously, the term that we had talked about with respect to the capital event rent that TCFC is due upon the sale or refinancing of any project. So we have that where I think you guys remember, we've had some conversations about that, where on the first sale, we have changed our terms to be the greater of 15% of the net proceeds or 2% of the gross proceeds, versus previously it was just the 15% of net. So that's the one difference. We're just going to update that term based on you guys today updating your terms if you choose to pass that resolution.
Thank you all. So we did find the overview. Kevin, you can just pull it down and start from the beginning. So just to slide the page down. There's a picture at the top.
Yeah, and what you're kind of looking at here is, like Patrick said, it's an overview of the project. That's a photo of one of our existing deals in Austin, North Austin, very close to the Greg Lane project that we're working on with you. Again, very similar product as to kind of what we're looking to achieve. That's called the Howard. Great project that we have up there. But again, this kind of hits a lot of the things that I was discussing in regards to the location, high level summary in regards to, okay, hey, what kind of rents are we looking to achieve? So as you can see on that last page, we're looking at close to, call it 1,700 as an average check rate, which we feel is really beneficial to this area. And so again, this photo here just kind of gives you a broad look as to kind of where it's located. The McKinney Falls side is what it's referenced as there. But outside of that, again, not a whole lot of additional details or materials from our end. Obviously, feel free to look through this and ask us if there's any other materials that you need from us or any questions. I'm happy to answer those.
Jordan, I have a question. So with the Greg Lane deal, and we approved it back in May 2024, and you're saying you're having issues with the county. Do you foresee the same issues with this deal? With the county?
So no, one of the unique aspects about this project specifically is we're really far along. We actually bought this land back in 2021. So we've been working on this deal for about four and a half years now. Will there, there's always hurdles that you don't expect to see that we may have to jump and clear, which we think we will be able to do. But we feel like we've cleared a lot of those to this point on this site specifically. Like I said, we've been working on this for about 4 years, and we're in a spot now where we've gone back over 8 to 9 times with the city, with the county, addressed all of their comments. We're expecting to get our plat finalized within the next, call it 3 to 4 months. And that allows us to then pull the SDP is what it's called. It's a site development permit, for the site and, kick off construction. Like I said, in that mid 2026, call it June timeframe.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry for the delay. Point being made here is that this area has seen a lot of interest because it's close to a lot of employment centers, has good access, and good transportation access and access to goods and services. So we really feel good about the location. As been mentioned, the terms will be not much different, if not the same as the Greg Lane terms. Greg Lane is off Howard Lane, north of and east of Harris Branch. And
that's correct.
General vicinity, and of course, like you said, it's kind of in a. They assured us that next first quarter, second quarter of 2026, they're going to be moving forward with the project, but similarly, they're looking at a site, this site, not too far away, but obviously a different location.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion to approve resolution number TCFC 2025-17?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. All right, so we are going to go back to resolution number TCFC 2025-15.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the time. I unfortunately got to jump, but again, appreciate it, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions for us.
All right, thank you. Okay, so moving on to resolution number TCFC 2025-15, and this is to approve this resolution authorizing amendments to the development agreement and other project documents for the, is it AT or AT?
Yeah.
6311 apartments transaction and other matters in connection therewith.
Yes, so this is affectionately referred to as the Sophie project. It's in South Austin, off Congress Street. So the project is being leased up as we speak. There was some discussion recently about the fees that were owed to us, final fees, I guess, or well, final fees as part of the closeout. It warranted some modifications to the documents, or at least the terms. So that's what we're here today to talk about. And I'll let Summer take it away from there.
So this project is experiencing some, like many projects, right? We're in challenging times with respect to interest rates and capital, and certainly in Austin, there's been some softening of the rental market that, folks are predicting to be temporary, just based on kind of the influx of units that came online after the massive amount of building that happened in 2020 and 2021 before interest rates rose. Obviously, that now there's not anything being built, so everyone's expecting there to be a bit of a supply cliff. But so this project is not unique in that it is experiencing some issues with respect to just cost overruns, a little slow to lease up. So one of the terms that you all have is that you are to receive 15% of the developer fee. So the developer is paid a fee that's typically a percentage of the overall cost of the project. And in this instance, the developer has elected to defer or forego their fee. And so you're to be paid 15% of whatever they are paid. They came to Patrick and I, and we had some discussions with them. They asked for you all to also forego your fee as well. And we were able to talk to them and get them to agree that you would defer your fee, but that once the project is up and going and starts cash flowing, that 25% of the available cash, so the after paying expenses and debt service and everything else, 25% of that available cash that would otherwise have been distributed to the partners, that will go to pay down your developer fee. The reason that we did that is because we didn't feel like it was entirely fair to ask you to give up the developer fee in this instance because you're not a partner in the deal. So the developer has a limited partner interest in the project. So by foregoing their developer fee, they're going to be getting distributions in the form of, or getting money in the form of distributions due to their partnership. You guys don't have that role. You're, the contractor, the lessor, and that's really basically it. So this is a way for you guys to kind of share in that in a way, share in the kind of the partnership and get your portion of the developer fee paid that you were due. Hopefully that makes sense.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
So will the project finish summer, or are they still?
This is the one.
Was this happen? How would it help them get through this hurdle?
So I believe the project is complete and it's in lease up. Is that right, Patrick?
Leasing up.
Yeah. This is the one that Mr. Ken was helping with. They just experienced a number of delays, quite frankly, and kept asking for, extensions, and then there was some question about the previous real estate director and what was promised. So we were like, no, we don't remember ever having that conversation about giving up fees. So we, this was a compromise. We thought, well, ultimately we'll get the fees, and we're not talking about a substantial amount in the relative scheme of things, but it is due us, so we want it. And so we said,
and I think you have been paid part of the fee already. So this is just the
50% of the fee.
Right. So
That's correct.
I should have mentioned that earlier. But again, this was the way for us to kind of get you guys to in a more similar position as a developer in terms of you'll be getting that cash flow rather than, giving something up and not getting something in return. It's just going to be a little bit delayed.
Okay. Are you ready for a motion?
No,
Can I
I think
ask a
she's
question?
going to say something.
Summer, so is the property cash flowing at all at this point, and what is their occupancy? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't think someone can answer the occupancy. We'll have to find out. Super, did they mention the last time we checked?
I think
Patrick?
it might be 50%. I might have it here. I might be able to pull it up.
I mean, they haven't reached stabilization yet.
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking.
Yes. So then as far as that deferred developer fee may not be for this year or next year, it'll be a while until it's fully stabilized, correct?
Right, and we're only talking about $150,000.
Yeah, I know.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just so it's
Only.
well. I mean, these.
I just want to see a timeline. So
No, I understand. I mean,
Budgets are anticipated for 2026.
we have been trying to accommodate them, and it's not unreasonable for folks to ask.
Okay, so here's my question, because I'm a little bit confused, and so you could clear this up in my mind. So we went into this in a partnership with them, and there was an agreement that was made on the front end.
Yeah, we closed on
We
the
closed
deal.
on it. We told them
Yeah,
we're
the
looking for.
evidence that says one thing. They've suggested that they have correspondence from the previous real estate director that suggested that we would both forego these fees. We said no, even if he did, he's no longer here, and two, it's not codified anywhere. So we said no. We would let's come up with another option for how we would address the issue. So this was a compromise because the documents do reflect when we're supposed to get our 50% of the fees, which is due us now.
Okay, and the issue is that they can't pay it?
That is correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
It doesn't stay with
They're just
Let me
barely
just-
making their debt service right now.
That is correct. Again, the market got soft. It took them a while to do the project. It's right at the corner. I think it's First in Congress. That's why they call it Sophie South First.
Okay.
But it's a nice project, but it took way longer than it should have, and they are just having problems
there was some
leasing out.
problems with the city also.
Yeah, the fire marshal.
Fire marshal wouldn't
They
close
experienced a
on.
number of unfortunate delays. So we've been trying to be reasonable about it. We're like, we'll wait. We'll just make sure that we get that. I mean, so
It's a beautiful project, and it's
Well,
finished.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm okay with moving forward with
Yeah.
this, just
Yeah.
with
Okay, so we'll-
everyone understanding that it's going to take a while.
Oh yeah,
to receive our
yes.
All right, so is there a motion to approve resolution number TCFC 2025-15?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that motion passes. Thank you, Summer, for that, and thank you for that clarification.
No,
So I
no problem.
understand. All right, moving on to resolution number TCFC 2025-16 is to approve the restated standard terms for PFC transactions and other matters in connection therewith.
Okay. So Summer alluded to the standard terms being changed. So this is the third iteration. Back in 2022, we created these standard terms to help inform folks and give them some expectation of what we want, right? And then we modified those slightly in 2024. And so, Summer, you can take it from here, but we've essentially been telling folks that we were going to be updating our terms to reflect what the updated language says here, and that's what we're suggesting today. So if you want to add anything, Summer, feel free.
Yeah, so this is born out of some conversations we've had here in these meetings. I think Commissioner Flores, maybe you were the one that originally brought this up, where we had agreed, and the initial terms on many of your deals are the 15% of the net proceeds right after we pay back the loans and folks get their preferred return for the equity providers. And there have been a couple of cases, I think, where we've had some sales. I believe most recently, maybe it was the Citizen Bergstrom, where that amount was I think much lower than what we had originally anticipated based on the projections that the developers gave us. And so because your subsequent sales are all at 2% of the gross proceeds, we decided that going forward to put you in the best position to, and I think also to help keep folks honest when they come to us in the beginning, to present deals to us and say, okay, well, look at how much money you're going to make when we sell this project. And, hopefully people are being honest and they're just giving us their best estimate, and maybe they're just off. But also, I think we want to kind of eliminate Hollywood accounting and eliminate them gaming the system. So this was Patrick's and my recommendation was that we, do the greater of those two numbers on the first sale, and then all subsequent sales will just keep it at the 2% of gross proceeds.
Any discussion? All right. Is there a motion to approve TCFC 2020, resolution number TCFC 2025-16?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, that motion passes. Moving on to item 6 on the agenda, is there a reason to go into executive session? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn the TCFC meeting?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Well,
The motion
we
is,
have, you have your gift, so you're gonna go make the choice. So, you gotta make
all right, so the meeting is adjourned at 11:54 a.m.
well, yeah.